Hello, hello, hello! Guess who's back? Yes, that friend that cooks is back with part two of making tepache. So for those of you who don't know, might not be familiar with the term, tepache is essentially a Mexican pineapple beer. Now I know we have similar in our culture, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use the term tepache. Now, this is day 3 of our fermentation process, and I can see that everything is going well as planned, although a bit slower than what I expected. But we do have some foaming, if you can see. Let me bring this a bit closer. We do have some foaming happening, and that means that the fermentation is going on well. The weather is a bit cold right now, so I did anticipate that it would be a bit slower, but I would still like to see if we're good to go with the flavoring part. So I'm going to give it a taste, and if I don't like it, well, we could ferment it for another day or so. So here goes. I can smell it and it smells good. I love it. Like, for me, it's just great as is. I can't wait to see how it's going to be with the flavoring. So I chose to go with ginger and tamarind. And I'd like to take you through what you need for the second fermentation. Use a glass bottle that's airtight. Now you have to be very careful with the airtight glass bottles because they do tend to explode. So if you're not going to have time to maybe check on the brew, or if you feel like you might forget, you might be better off using plastic. Although I personally do not like to use plastic for any of my brews, I go with glass. It's airtight, and throughout the 2 days that I'm going to do the second fermentation, I'm going to be releasing some gas from the bottles, and this is to prevent the bottle from exploding. Okay. Then you're going to need a funnel, of course, to transfer the brew from the huge jar into the bottle, and your flavoring. So I'm going to go with ginger and tamarind, and I'm going to take you through that process right now. All right, here we go. So first and foremost, I'm going to wash my ginger, of course, before I peel it. You have to observe super strict hygiene practices when you're brewing. You don't want to catch any diseases. And then I'm going to grate it, and I'm going to grate it using the finer end of my grater. Once I'm done with this is going to go into the ginger brew bottle. Of course, I'm also going to add an extra tablespoon of sugar to the ginger brew bottle. And this is basically just to further help the fermentation process. Next up, I have my tamarind juice here. The tamarind was soaked in warm water and then strained. And of course, I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar to that bottle as well, the tamarind brew. Next up, I'm going to pour my brew into the fermentation bottles, but first, of course, remove the glasses that were holding the pineapple pieces down. And I'm going to pour that in and leave at least an inch of room in the bottle. And here I have my tamarind flavored brew also. Going to top it up with the tamarind juice, and there we have it. Okay, so here we have our tamarind brew and our ginger brew. Now, when filling the bottles, you have to make sure that you leave at least 2 inches space. Now, remember, this process involves some gases being formed, and with the glass bottles, there's a risk of them exploding. Okay. Now, remember to check on your brew every day, just to release some of the gases that may form to prevent an explosion. So I'm going to leave these in a warm, dark place for another 2 days. And we'll see how it goes. Later.
Update. Well, so here we have it. I actually ended up doing this for only 1 extra day. The second fermentation was only 1 extra day as opposed to 2 as I initially thought. Now I'm burping the bottle for the last time before I put it in the fridge to stop the fermentation process. Voila!